and annihilated his opponent, Ryan Benoit, in 40 seconds. Please welcome the magician, John Dodson. And next to him, one of the most fierce competitors to ever enter a cage or ring, putting together a Hall of Fame career of 30-14 in MMA competition with countless Fight of the Night honors. Winner of The Ultimate Fighter Season 1, he's Albuquerque's own Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. On the other side of me, his opponent on the night, also making his debut, is a former WBA light middleweight world champion in boxing. Of his 36 professional wins, half of them came by way of knockout. From Albuquerque, Albuquerque's own Austin Trout. Gotcha. Next, she's been one of the most dominant fighters on the roster since her debut at BKFC 3 in 2018. Twice, she has won a championship in the organization, and currently, she is on top of the women's flyweight mountain. You saw her defend her title in devastating fashion at BKFC 28 right here in Albuquerque. This is Christine, the Misfit Ferea. Currently a 2-division champion, this man is currently on an 8-fight win streak. He is the current cruiserweight and light heavyweight champion of the BKFC, claiming the scalps of guys like Joe Riggs, Hector Lombard, and Quentin Henry. I give you Lorenzo, the Juggernaut Hunt. And his opponent, an MMA legend, undefeated in the BKFC. Last October, BKFC 31, he claimed the interim light heavyweight championship in a classic bout with Isaac Doolittle. I give you Mike the Marine Richman. And at this time, I'd like to welcome up to the podium the man that made this all happen. He's the founder, the president of the BKFC, Mr. David Feldman.
Thank you very much. I'm so excited to be back here in Albuquerque. I'm from Philadelphia, and you know, everybody says that Philadelphia is like the fight capital of the world. But when I came here to Albuquerque last year and had a BKFC event here, I tell you, I've never seen a fight town like Albuquerque, and I can't wait to give you guys this unbelievable show that we're bringing you on February 17th, Knucklemania 3. It's going to be fantastic. We have 2 former boxing world champions on this card, Austin Trout, and Christine Ferea's opponent is also a WBC women's bantamweight world champion. So the talent that's going to be on this card is really remarkable. UFC legend Diego Sanchez, UFC standout John Dodson, and what's really special about this card to me is that we have 2 really, homegrown UFC BKFC fighters on this card. 2 guys that we kind of built up, and they really made a name on themselves. They were both in combat sports prior to this event, but they made a name for themselves in BKFC, and for them to headline an event like this, it really gives me great pleasure. I know it gives them great pleasure, and it's quite an accomplishment for Mike Richman and Lorenzo Hunt to headline this card, so I'm very happy about that. And, I also we also have another added attraction to this card. Everybody's, we had a mystery who it's going to be that's going to be the added attraction to this card. And this gentleman we signed a little bit ago, he didn't make his debut yet. Former NFL standout, former UFC fighter, Greg Hardy will be making his debut on February 17th here at the Tingley Coliseum. Greg, come on up. All right, Cyrus, back to you.
All right, thank you so much, David. And it is going to be an incredible night here at Knucklemania number 3. We're going to go to questions. We do have questions for national MMA media, and we also have local media here as well. So if you do have a question, please come see me up here at the microphone, and we'll make sure your question's in. First up, Lorenzo Hunt, a lot has changed for you and this company since Knucklemania 1 in 2021. You were on that card. You've become a 2-division champion. BKFC has grown exponentially. How's it feel to main event Knucklemania number 3?
It feels amazing. Like I said, I always knew I would be the champion. When I came here, I didn't make any qualms about it. I met David Feldman and I told him exactly who I was and what I would do for this organization, and I've done it. I didn't take any shortcuts, all work, no play. show up, and make them throw up. So here I am.
And I'm going to go to your opponent, Mike Richman. Mike, it was BKFC 31 in Denver. You capture your first world championship against Isaac Doolittle, and then somehow Lorenzo Hunt ends up ringside during your celebration. What's going through your mind? Obviously, there was an altercation after that, and it seemed like the bad blood really rose up between you two. Just kind of walk us through that.
You know, I think him and I have just been having a little beef for a while now, and to finally be able to add some legitimacy to the title that he's never made weight for, that's going to be my plan. And, February 17th, I plan to put him away.
Now we're going to move over to Diego Sanchez. Diego Sanchez debuting in BKFC at Knucklemania, fighting in Albuquerque, taking on a boxing world champion in Austin Trout. Has all this sunken in? What's going on in your head getting ready for this fight?
I'm just excited. So excited. Me and Dave, we've been trying to get me into BKFC since 2019. He generously flew me out to Philadelphia, had dinner with me, and put a lot of work in to make a contract. And here we are, 3 years later. It's in my hometown. I could not be more grateful. I could not be more blessed. And with that being said, I'm confident and I'm excited I'm putting everything I got into this, man. I have to. I have to. I wanted to fight at 175. Austin said, no, 165. I got to put in extra work. I'll make the weight. I'll come fit. I'll come so ready for this fight. I'm just excited, guys. And I love you guys, and I love this new opportunity. And I'm going to keep it all respectful up here with Austin, because if it wasn't for him signing on the dotted line, I wouldn't be here. And we're going to go do what we got to do. He's going to make his adjustments. I'm going to make my adjustments, and we're going to give a hell of a show.
And speaking of Austin Trout, Austin, Paulie Malignaggi, DeMarcus Corley, a couple of world champions that came over to BKFC but couldn't get the job done, couldn't get the win. How are you going to be different when you step into the squared circle?
I'm definitely not a Paulie Malignaggi or a Chop Chop Corley. I'm from New Mexico, so we like to fight first and foremost. Second of all, I'm from Las Cruces, New Mexico. Just want to put that out there. All love to Albuquerque, but I'm representing
Where were you
South
born?
today. Born in El Paso, Texas.
Orale.
I'm borderland.
Level Mexico right here.
Born in the borderland through and through. I'm not none of them. I can punch, I can hit, I can take a hit. I like to fight. Diego's not going to do to me what those other opponents did to them, because I'm different.
Thank you very much, Austin. And Christine Ferea, obviously we do have an opponent for you now. This has been kind of the big mystery leading up here in the last week or so. You've been campaigning, you wanted on this card very, very badly, wanted to be a part of Knucklemania 3, and now you have an opponent, former WBC champion, and Usanakoran Tawil Sawanwang from Thailand, 2-0 in BKFC. Is this going to be your toughest fight to date?
Maybe. Everybody's not scared of me. They say they get in the ring and curl up. So we'll find out. She's a world champion. I respect that. I'm bringing my A game no matter what. I'm bringing my heart, my soul into this. I wanted to fight back in Albuquerque, train with the Sanchez brothers, grind, hard workers out here. The ethic is amazing. I'm just ready to go.
John Dodson, we know your debut was one of the best debuts of the year. It's surprising that it didn't get debut of the year here for the BKFC. 40 seconds, you decimated Ryan Benoit, a very game opponent, and you said, this is the spot for me. Your brother obviously won on the same card. How excited are you to get back inside of the squared circle?
Amazing night. It's working. Amazing night. I can be ready for the whole event. I'm on the card with all these legends, and not only that, these guys have been performing so well in BKFC. For me, I'm going to go out there and perform with my brother on the same card, and we're going to do some spectacular things. We're looking to go make the short night of our opponents, because that's just our style. This is our bread and butter, and we know how to brawl, we know how to fight, we know how to get down and dirty. Jared Grant, in my eyes, was the bantamweight champion, not the interim champion, because Johnny Bedford was already for his way out. So I'm looking to make an impressive performance against him, so I can go ahead and prove to not only the BKFC fans, but the world around us, saying I am the flyweight champion in BKFC. this bare knuckle game is all mine.
And now we'll go to Greg Hardy. This is going to be your first opportunity inside the BKFC ring. It's been a long time coming. It was June that we found out that you signed with the company. You've been doing a little bit of boxing. Obviously, we know you had a great stint in MMA. Still could be more with that. That being said, what can we expect out of Greg Hardy, the BKFC fighter?
You never know, man. I could pop up anywhere. Boy, be everywhere. I'm down to do it. Any city, any state. It's my game, man. I would like to, before I answer that question, say thank y'all for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be up here with the people that made banging great again. It's a hell of a sport. And I think, bro, it's just about to be a lot of blood and guts and big fish bouncing off of faces, man. And I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited. I flew here, I was excited. I couldn't sleep on the plane. I've been dancing since I got here. It's almost showtime, man. A couple more weeks. And I'm entertaining the world for y'all.
Now let's go to the president, David Feldman. Since BKFC 28 in August, the incredible crowd, the talent from the area, was it a no-brainer to bring Knucklemania to Albuquerque?
Oh, absolutely, especially with the fighters that we have on here. Like I said, I mean, you have one of the most legendary fighters that ever stepped inside of a cage, Diego Sanchez. You have one of the most talented boxers that ever came out of New Mexico, Austin Trout. You've got homegrown Mike Richman taking on Lorenzo Hunt. You got John Dodson. You got Christine Ferea, probably the best bare knuckle women's fighter ever. And now you have the debut of Greg Hardy. I mean, you have Eric Dotson on the card. You have all these great up-and-comer guys and girls as well that are going to be on this undercard. I mean, I really think New Mexico's coming out for this one. We have already sold more tickets than we sold for the last event, and we're 4.5 weeks out right now. I think this is going to be a record-breaking crowd for us. I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing event for Albuquerque, and I really, truly just can't wait to come back here to this fight down.
All right, we're going to go to our first national media question. This is from Damon Martin with MMA Fighting. It's for Austin Trout. Diego is well known for his legendary durability. So does that raise the stakes at all for you to go for a knockout for the win?
I'm gonna beat him up until he can't get beat up no more. Now, if that means that somebody stops it, he stops it, or the time runs out, either way, I'm just gonna keep beating him up. I do not believe that Diego has the hands to deal with me. In fact, I don't believe that any of the MMA fighters in the BKFC, past, present, or future, are gonna have the hands to deal with me, and I plan on proving that.
First question, Mike Frankel here from ESPN Radio Albuquerque. First question for Greg Hardy. Making your debut in bare knuckle on their biggest card, does that add any extra feeling of pressure to the moment?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, baby. That's what I do. Big time shows, big time events, and I hope y'all don't miss it, man. Buy the ticket, buy the package, because it's gonna be entertaining as hell. I never let you down. I never quit on you. Either I left on the stretcher or they left on the stretcher. It's about to happen again, man. It's about to be amazing. How can you not be excited about this?
Next one for Las Cruces is Austin Trout. First time in bare knuckle. How much different has the preparation for this fight been?
There's definitely been adjustments that needed to be made, and I've made those adjustments. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but it's not the same game as just boxing. You know, and for anybody to come in and think that, like I feel like Paulie Malignaggi did, you're gonna be in for a bad awakening. But nonetheless, I've made my adjustments. I'm damn good at what I'm doing, and then those adjustments just opened up a new era of warrior combat for me.
For Mike Richman, I was wondering, what do you attribute to this success with bare knuckle after transitioning over from MMA?
For me personally, it's just been my style. Anyone that watched my many fights at Bellator, I like to stay in the pocket, I like to slip, and I like to look for the killer shots. I try to be precise and accurate. I don't have a big punch count, and I just look for those type of kill shots. And that was an easy transition for me in the bare knuckle. It was just adjusting to landing with my bare hands and getting hit with bare hands, and other than that, it was smooth.
And basically the same question for
Not to mention the ability to heal pretty fast from multiple hematomas. That helps.
I don't even got nothing to say to this dude, man. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm I'm gonna beat your ass, dude. You already know it. Take that fake ass gold off. I can see the green on your skin right here. Take that fake ass gold off before you talk to me.
Blah. I don't know why you took this fight. I don't know why they sanctioned this fight. This is a terrible.
Because they don't think you're shit. That's why.
I just wanted everybody to see what Mike Richman is up against. We are totally different people.
Take that fucking
two
chain off.
different men, 2 different weight classes, 2 different monsters. He should have stayed. If you can't be that stupid. You can't be that stupid. You're stupid and you're
You're the man, right? Get out there right now. Right now, bitch. Right here. Let's give him a little I can't wait. Anybody take that bet? I can't wait, boy. Anybody take that? I can't wait. Good. I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck your little bitch ass up. Should have never said my name. I'm gonna fuck your little bitch ass up. And I'm gonna take your little fake ass chain off your neck too. This is your retirement fight. Right. I'm gonna come for you. Don't worry, buddy. I'm gonna come for you. You should have stayed sitting in your chair, you fucking midget. I'm gonna come for you, bitch. Mexico! Are you not entertained? That's just not why you were here. Yeah. What? Yo, that was someone that got the mic out. I don't take kindness from you, Drake. I'm about business. I smashed the tomato and Joe Richman. Mike Richman just asked to be slapped. Hector Lombard asked to get his ass killed. So did Quentin Hughes. Asked for a hematoma. Mike Richman asked for this. What you think I'm gonna do? You think I flew all the way out here to what? Bitch up? This is the life I chose. He's a clown. He wants to retire. He said my name and now I'm here. Shouldn't have said it. More questions? John, we got more questions. We just don't have the sound right now, so we're working on it. But we can actually continue.
I can shout out more questions so nobody's gonna fight when I ask one.
When I fight you, I can't say what's gonna happen up here. I have no idea.
I'm sorry I did that. So it's like that I can't get one-on-ones later.
Check. All right, so we're going to continue the press conference here. I'm just going to go straight to David Feldman. If you want to react to that, obviously everybody's very excited about this main event, and we knew there was a lot of bad blood. We didn't know it would take down the whole set, but now we do. Give me your honest reaction.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not something that we want. We don't want to have these kind of antics up here, but at the end of the day, you have two guys that are personalities that think they're the baddest man on the planet, that go face to face and don't really like each other, and sometimes this type of thing is going to happen. You know, unfortunately it happened here, but on the same respect, I think it's just a little preview of what you're going to see on February 17th here in the center of that ring, and you are going to find out who the baddest 185-pound bare knuckle fighter on the planet is here. And I think, I think now everybody's hyped up about this thing. So you got to be here at Tingley Coliseum on February 17th to check out this crazy show.
All right, so we got a question from Nolan King at MMA Junkies for Diego Sanchez. He says, this is your BKFC debut. What made you give bare knuckle a shot? And how do you see yourself doing in this promotion long term?
So, yeah, the first time I watched bare knuckle fighting championship, I was like, hell yeah. Because I never really liked the gloves in UFC anyway. And I just felt like without the glove on, I was a better puncher. The punches were getting better. They were harder to block. And I thought that was a more pure way to fight. So when I heard about being interested. Lorenzo broke the mic. No, yeah. You know what? It's the rule setting and it's the dynamics of being able to actively strike in the clinch. I'm built for that shit. I'm a wrestling state champion, and once I get these hands on you, it's not like a normal hand. There's adjustments that are being made that are micro movements that you won't even feel, that you won't even know about. And I knew this was for me. As far as how many times I'm gonna do it, I don't know. But I love this sport, and 2-minute rounds, man, compared to 5, that's a sprint for me. That's a sprint up the hill. So let's go. I'm gonna go in there, and this is gonna be a fight, a bootleg, dark alley street fight. This ain't boxing. This is gangster shit.
So let me go to Austin Trout on that, also from Nolan King. A lot of people feel like you have a large advantage over Diego since you're coming from boxing. Do you view it that way, or is bare knuckle a whole different animal?
It is a whole different animal. It's not boxing like you said, but I do believe I do have an advantage. Now, going back to the weight class, we said that I didn't want it at 175. They told me what the class is going to be at. They said 165. I said, fine. I ain't never fought over 154 my whole career. But that's fine. That means I get to put on a couple pounds of muscle and really be rocking with these shots. The adjustments need to be made, the micro movements, all that shit he was talking about, yeah. But that's kind of what I do. Boxing's called the game of inches for a reason. It wasn't a tough man contest as the early UFC was. It's now more of a science, which is why now most people can't even compete, because it's down to the science. I've been doing the sweet science all my life, and the little adjustments I've had to make just made me more dangerous.
Final question from Nolan King. This one goes to John Dodson. You've been pretty active in recent months, crossing between BKFC and MMA. As a fighter, how beneficial is it that BKFC and Ryzen allow you the freedom to compete across promotions?
Although, you need to go ahead and be a true champion in no matter what organization to be. I'm going to show what's dangerous in the world. What's it be? No, Ryzen or for MMA or I will go ahead and continue on punching people in the face. The adjustments that we always make for MMA into the bare knuckle realm works tremendously. Just like how Austin sat there and said that it's not like the early days of UFC where it was just to be a tough man competition. Same thing with bare knuckle and boxing. In the early days, it was all about who could be standing toe to toe, being the tougher man in the building. And we are trying to go ahead and elevate the game, not by inches, but by millimeters. sit there, correct those, make those adjustments, and I love the fact that Ryzen said let me be a champion and second BKFC. I will hold both those titles very soon, or at the end of this year.
Morning, Hernandez, Southwest Fight News. Questions for Austin Trout. Austin, why was it important for you to make this move? You're obviously still very active with legacy within the boxing sphere. So why was it important for you to take this contest on, you feel, at this point of your career?
Well, like you said, like I have good rankings in the WBA. I'm about to be another world champion in boxing. When this opportunity was presented to me, I looked at it as a way to not only stay active, but another way to express myself in the ring. You know, there's things that boxing that I don't like. The BKFC is actually making a company that, to me, seems like they're for the fighters. From this whole experience, it seems like they put the fighters first. That's something I can definitely get behind, because if you know boxing, even in the UFC, the fighters usually come last.
And a follow-up to that, it's been about 10 years since you had a sparring session with Carlos Condit, who at the time was a colleague or a teammate of Diego. What did you take from that 10 years ago?
Well, I know Carlos is a better striker than Diego, and especially was 10 years ago. And y'all were there, you got the footage. You know what I mean? I'm a monster in that ring. I'll be a monster in that cage too.
Diego, you're a few months shy of your 20th anniversary as a professional. Same question to you, why was this the right move for you at this point of your career?
All the reasons, everything. The opponent, it's in Albuquerque. It's bare knuckle. The list goes on and on and on and on. This shit is like my destiny right here. Like, the bricks just keep getting laid perfect for me. I'm gonna walk that path right to victory.
Mike, I know you had a moment to assess what just happened. How are you feeling about the fight now?
The same way I felt about it before. He slaps like a little bitch too.
Shut up.
You're a little bitch, dude.
Shut up.
We can get down right now. We can get down right now. Yo, weak ass bitch. You know that? You're a weak ass bitch. Everyone knows it too. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Just shut up. You fucking bitch your own fucking tongue like little pussy. Let's go right now. Let's go right now. No, you slap me like.
Let's save it for February 17th, guys. Let them buy the tickets to this.
You know that?
Let's go. Next question, Cyrus.
Question for Christine Ferea. Christine, obviously, big matchup coming up here, Knucklemania 3. I know that's on your radar, right in front of you. That being said, you've made a lot of comments about possibly going down to strawweight and challenging for that title. Is that still the plan as it stands?
If she keeps running her mouth, I'll go take that title too. But, you know, I'll let her sit on her little ratchet brain. You know what I mean? She can do what she does. But if I clean out the 25, move up to 30, 35, drop down to 15, I'll do what it takes to fight. That's what I'm here for. That's my job.
Question for Greg Hardy. Now you know your opponent is Josh Watson. He's 1-1 in BKFC. What do you know about your opponent? Have you taken a look at some of the footage? How are you getting ready for the fight?
Oh, same way I get ready for every fight, man. I go into the cave, I get my conditioning right. I'm the biggest, baddest man on the planet, bro. I'm the best cross-sport athlete you'll ever come across. So it's not much to this formula. It's tune the machine. It's get under the weights, get up a hill, get on the miles, and meet whoever they want to put in there. You know what I mean? And I have not looked at my opponent much yet. I like to say that towards the closer to the fight. I like to focus on me, make sure I'm a tool, make sure I'm fit to entertain. So that's been my approach so far.
Question for Mike Richman, as a former MMA fighter who found success in bare knuckle. What's the best advice you would give Diego Sanchez making his BKFC debut? And that is from the Schmo.
First of all, I want to say is, look at how scared Lorenzo looks in his eyes. Fucking little bitch, man. Scared ass motherfucker.
Don't know why you're here.
Scared ass motherfucker. You're in the main event because of me. Because of me. Because of me. Because of me. I'm the only undefeated one out here. You went fucking face planting on your face. Me. I've been in main event every one of my fights. You took down a Burger King employee. No, it's my third main event. Every fucking fight I've been in has
been a co-main and main event. You fought a Burger King employee, a Taco Bell employee, a fucking goddamn Chili's regular. You ain't shit. You ain't shit. You ain't shit, man. You ain't shit. You ain't fucking shit. You ain't fucking shit. I heard about putting it on your ass in Puerto Rico. I heard about that. Trust me, I heard about that. Stop asking me questions. Fucking stupid, man. Look at you. Look at you. You didn't do shit.
You hit his neck.
You didn't do shit.
Next, Cyrus.
Question for
Next question.
Question for you, David. John Dodson and Jared Grant, huge fight. All right.
Go ahead,
It's from
Cyrus.
Dylan Boker from Cape-Side Press. John Dodson, Jared Grant, huge fight in the seemingly ever-growing flyweight division. What's the timeline look for cementing the first BKFC champ in the flyweight division, and where does Dodson and Grant fit in that picture?
I think that the winner of Dodson and Grant is in line for the 125-pound championship. Absolutely. I mean, Jared Grant's a tremendous fighter. He came off a bad performance against Reggie Grant. John Dodson also, obviously showed his explosiveness in MMA and in our ring, and we're going to see what he does here on February 17th. But I absolutely think that the winner of that deserves a crack at the inaugural 125-pound championship.
David, Brad Benson, KRQ News 13 here in Albuquerque. So, you talked about why it was important to bring Knucklemania 3 back into New Mexico, just talking about how big of a combat sports town this is. But just the local fighters on this card, so many of them, just talk about the local talent and how, good they are, essentially.
Yeah, last time I was here, I was super impressed by all the prospects that we had on the undercard, and a lot of them are coming back. Jamie Henshaw, tremendous performance. Eric Dodson, a great performance. I just don't remember everybody's name, but there were so many great performances on that card, and then, the guys and girls that are up here on stage with me are just going to put on a tremendous performance. And, like I say, to put on what I think is the second biggest all New Mexico fight card underneath Danny Romero and Johnny Tapia, Austin Trout versus Diego Sanchez. There's going to be a lot of hype behind this, and obviously, we have fireworks in the main event, so this is going to be a tremendous card. I'm excited to come back here because the crowd was one of the best crowds that we had so far for BKFC.
And you've talked about bringing BKFC back here even more times in the future, a couple more times potentially this year. How much can February's event kind of grow the sport here in New Mexico?
We don't want to overdo it at any particular place, but we're certainly coming back here. The fighters are great. The trainers are great to deal with. The fans love it. The commission's amazing to deal with here. There's nothing not to like about doing a BKFC event in New Mexico, so we're certainly going to make this one of our most prominent homes.
All right, we have a question from Marcos Villegas with Fight Hub, and it's for Austin Trout. He said, what was the ultimate deciding factor in doing this bare knuckle fight, and what are the adjustments in training? How have they been?
The ultimate deciding factor was they offered it to me. I already was like, when I first saw the BKFC come out, I was a fan right away. I was watching the fights, was sitting there like, I could beat him, I could whoop him. I could beat him. I would do this, yo. I would do this. And right away, my wife was like, you better not. Don't do it. Come on, man. You put me through enough as it is with your as-is career. And then shout out to my man Nelson Lopez. He gave me a call. He was like, hey, would you ever do BKFC? I said, bruh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, who, when, where? And when they told me the details of it, they said, at 165, though, you cool, there's whatever, man. Let's go. So when the offer came out, it was great. I was already on board before they even asked me. So it wasn't like I had to be talked into it. I was already on board.
Question for Diego, this is from the Schmo. How would you best summarize this chapter of your historic combat sports career?
Exciting? It's going to be exciting. It's going to be what everybody always wanted in the beginning of UFC. Everybody was like, what's better, boxing, UFC? Well, now you get two legends of the sport, each sport, that are coming together in a new space, who are both stepping up to we're stepping up, and we're getting this shit done to entertain you fans. Be ready. It's going to be exciting.
Question for Lorenzo Hunt. When you look at this fight as the fight, obviously a lot of bad blood here. Where do you feel like you're going to be able to exploit Mike Richman and win the fight?
Mike Richman is slow, he's stupid. He comes forward when he should go backwards. He goes backwards when he should go forward. He don't know his ass from his head. He headbutts punches. This is a bad fight. It's just a bad fight. And I'm faster than him, stronger than him. It's a bad fight, but it's a retirement fight. Mike Richman wanted a way out, and now he got it. That's all I got to say.
All right, David, obviously, we're looking forward to an incredible 2023, not just with Knucklemania 3, but you've said 30, 40, 50, who knows how many events this year as we are growing exponentially. How can you comment on that?
I mean, it's going to be an amazing year for us. We have so many fighters that want to sign for our organization. We have big-time TV deals in the works right now. We have things that's going to take this sport to the next level this year. By the end of 2023, we will be a very, very major player in combat sports. We'll be, in the top 3 in combat sports promotions in the entire world, and that's guaranteed. These fighters fight too hard. It's too exciting. It's too fun. It gives you everything that you want as a combat sports fan. There's nothing not to like about this. And that's why this thing is going to take off this year. We had 4 years to grow. We had 4 years to mature, and this is our coming out year. And it's a lot of these fighters coming out year as well. And what a better way to do it than to have Knucklemania at the beginning of the year right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with the best fighters and fight fans in the world. Can't wait.
And we have no more questions here. If you want to close it out, we're good.
All right, that's it. So thank you so much, everybody, for coming out. Thank you, everybody up here. Diego, John, Lorenzo, Mike, Christine, Austin, and Greg Hart.